Hi guys, it's Ben from TRX Space Station. How's everyone doing? This is a community tag response video. Thank you very much to Shock16 for tagging me in this question set, and I believe this one started with Interghost Adam. I'll post a link to both of their videos in the description below. So this is about 5 games that you haven't completed. I actually work really hard at completing the games in my collection because I don't like having games that are unfinished. It kind of bothers me. And recently I've been trying to slow down my video game purchasing to make sure that I actually play through what I have. Even so, there are loads of games that I never quite managed to get through, and some of the ones in this list I've tried multiple times but just never managed to finish. So here we go. First up, we have The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This is on the N64. I actually have this game on a couple of different systems. I've got it on the 3DS as well because it got a re-release with 3D. And it's a fantastic game. It's a game that so many people told me that I've got to play. And I've tried to beat it probably 4 or 5 times. The best chance I had was when I was back at uni. And I got really quite far into it. I think I beat the Water Temple. And one of my friends was like, oh, you're going to be stuck at this point. It'll take you ages to find out where you need to go. And it kind of demotivated me. And I ended up just kind of like getting lost. And I didn't know where to go next. And then I just lost motivation. Since then, I've come back to try and beat it several times. I think it's a classic game. It's really enjoyable. There's nothing wrong with the game. There's just something wrong with me. It's such an epic quest that every time I try it, I get to a certain point and then I just kind of fizzle out and I don't play it for a while and then it all peters out. And I feel really guilty. One day I'm going to have to go back and finally beat this game because it's superb. The next game, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Actually, all of the Metroid Prime games. I've got all 3 of them in the trilogy set that came on the Nintendo Wii, and these are absolutely brilliant games. I've noticed the same thing happening with each one of them. I play through these games, I get to the very end, and then there's always this kind of annoying backtracking thing where it's like, well done, you've beaten most of the bosses, now you've got to go all the way back through the world and, for example, in the first one, find all the Chozo artifacts. And every time that happens, I feel like I've had enough of the game. I've like seen all the things that I want to see out of it, and then I just kind of peter out and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to go backtracking through all of these areas. Even as part of the normal pre-end game part, you have to backtrack a ton, and you kind of feel a bit like you've seen everything already. I mean, this is one of the better games on the Wii. It's superb. Graphically, it's brilliant. I got it when I first got my Wii, and then I've obviously got the trilogy with the when I finally got my hands on the trilogy set from some of the remastered games from the GameCube. I love them. I just can't seem to motivate myself to beat them, and I feel really guilty about it. I had to put some more RPGs in this list. Dragon Age Inquisition, another game that I was completely stoked to play when it came out. I was so excited about it. And one of the problems that I have, people have said Skyrim, is that when you get a big open world game where there's loads of stuff to do, it's so easy just to completely get sidetracked on all that extra stuff and actually not beat the main story. So on this game, I faffed around doing all these extra things, like unlocking bits of the map, doing side quests. All of that stuff like gives you gold and gives you abilities and stuff. But then when you've done loads and loads of that, you get to a point where you're like, oh, not really so bothered about the main quest now. I think I'll just leave it there. That's what happens to me all the time with these games. I was going to pick Final Fantasy VII as well, because that's another RPG that I've tried to start so many times and never managed to beat, but I actually don't have a hard copy of it. It's on the PlayStation Classic. I've put many hours into this. Similarly, Oblivion. I mean, I put so many hours into these RPGs and then I just kind of peter out on the main quest. Now, here's one that's come back to haunt me for years and years. It's The Lion King on the Sega Megadrive. And don't let the cute, colourful Disney aesthetic fool you, because this game is an absolute beast. When I was a child, I could never get past the second stage with the giraffes and the gorillas and all of that. Never. As a grown-up, I've come back to it many times and been determined to beat it. I can now get to, I think, the second to last stage and stuff. It's very cheap. There are levels where like rocks fall from the sky just randomly to throw you off the scent. There's a lava level where small misjudgments in jumping or getting hit by bats and you fall into lava, you die instantly. There's a lot of really unpleasant stuff like that in this game. But to top it all off, something Mega Drive games love to do, last stages or like random maps where you can get lost. So there's a random cave with almost, I think it's infinite actually, fights with other wolves, and it's horrible, and I can never manage to get past it. It's like, it's not just the technical skill that's required, it's the willpower to just keep going around this map into different caves, and it's like, oh god, one day I will take this game down. I need to kind of bring myself back up to that place where I want to do it. Okay, last but certainly not least, Resident Evil 4. And I showed the Nintendo Wii edition because really I think this is, well, as it says, the definitive edition. This is the one that you should play because of the fantastic controls. Another game that loads of people told me, you got to play this, man. You got to get into it. You got to check it out. And so I did. I've played through a lot of it. I got really far, but because I'm not a big Resi guy, I kind of got stuck. And that caused a lot of problems because basically what happened is I started to run out of ammo and I had to keep reloading earlier saves trying to conserve ammo. I got to one of the late game boss fights with the human soldier guy and I just haven't got enough ammo. It's so frustrating to have played through like hours and hours of this game. It's super scary, it's really fun, it's got more of a shooter mechanic to it, a shooting feeling compared to some of the others. But I really like that, and people have said this is probably going to be one of the next ones to get a PS4 remaster, which would be awesome. I'm going to tag Lifespiller79, I'm going to tag Melanated Dweeb, and I'm going to tag Mark for Here. I look forward to seeing your video responses, and I will post a link to their channels in the description below. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.